Good morning and welcome. And I'm going to invite you to start by placing one hand up on your chest and the other hand, so you kind of have like a thumb on your diaphragm and your pinky reaching towards the lower part of your torso. And I know that we do this a lot, but I want you to not force anything, but to think about your breath and feeling your breath through your whole body. So breathing in nose, chest, and belly, breathing out belly, chest, nose, and allowing your body to settle into your seat. So no forcing long, smooth, gentle breaths. And I find that after a couple breaths, I can really start to feel the breath in the body. I start to feel settled in my seat and grounded. And once you feel like there's a rhythm with your breath, you can keep your hands on your body or you can take them off. And scanning through the body, how is your body feeling today? Sometimes I wiggle a little bit when I'm checking in to just check on the different parts. And then after coming to your, assessment of how your body's feeling, how does your body want to feel today? Like when you leave here today, how do you want to be feeling? And so setting that intention. And then let's take a nice big inhale and reach your arms slowly up overhead. And exhale, let's bring that sound ah to the heart. Inhaling the arms out to the sides. Again, we're going to do and then scooping up from all around you in the ground again. This time, let's do Om to the heart. So sealing that intention at your heart, maybe bowing the head to the heart, heart to the earth. And then releasing your hands, and let's make some nice circles with the body. So we talked quite a bit about working on things connected to the back body. So specifically, as you're making your circles, notice, your hips, your back body, your shoulders, your head, your neck. And if you haven't changed directions, now would be a great time to switch directions. And then I'll give you a moment to do that. Already feeling my temperature go up a little bit. Then when you're done with your circles, we're going to take those legs and extend them out in front. And you might keep a slight bend in them. And so hands on the thighs, we're going to inhale, body up, shoulders over the hips, exhale, down your legs. Inhale up and exhale down. And this is another great time to check in. How does that back body feel as you're moving forwards and backwards? How do your legs feel? And again, you're still connected with the breath as you inhale up and exhale down. Now, next time you come up, let's take your right leg in towards your body, so your knee is pointing up towards the sky. And you're going to have your left hand on the ground. We're going to take that right arm up, inhale, and then exhale, slide down towards the outside of your foot. So now you're going to keep your hand on that leg. Inhale up, exhale down. Again, you're noticing like what's happening in your shoulders, in your back, in your hips. And, you know, does it feel a little bit differently from when your legs are straight? And if you're dropping your knee out to the side, I want you to walk your foot out so that your knee is still kind of pointing up. And next time you come up, we're gonna switch legs. So you'll bend the left leg, extend the right leg, your left arm up. Nice big inhale, so you stretch the whole side body, hand comes down onto your leg as you exhale and reach towards the outside of the leg. And it's always so interesting to me how like each side feels a little bit differently. Just noticing and breathing and moving. And of course, if anything hurts, backing off or stopping and changing what you're doing. All right, one more breath. And when you come up this time, we're gonna extend both legs out. So you're in a wide angle, but not so wide that you couldn't take your legs a little bit wider. And then you're gonna place the hands on the floor. Again, inhale, shoulders over the hips, exhale, sliding forward. And we're not trying to get, so let's distinguish, we're not trying to get the head towards the ground, you're taking your heart. So you're keeping your body in line with your head as you slide forwards and backwards. And it's also a great time to figure out how we use our body, you know, like when we're trying to reach the head towards the ground as opposed to the heart. And you're just inhaling up and exhaling back. And you might find after a few breaths, you go a little bit deeper or maybe not. Now, again, next time you're seated up, we're gonna bend both the knees. So now our feet are in a wide angle and your knees are bent, and we're gonna do that same thing. So you have to make sure there's enough room for your body to get down between your thighs, right? So again, inhaling up and exhaling down. So like as soon as I bend my knees, I can feel the stretch go lower in my back body. So just noticing, and it might be a little bit different for you, noticing what happens. I also can't go as far, right? But I can feel a different sort of stretch. All right. Now, next time you come up, we're gonna find those tennis balls. And if you're at home and you don't have tennis balls, you can use your hands to massage. So you're gonna start with your knees bent and place so your butt's on the ground, right? You're gonna bend your knees so that you can squeeze the tennis balls in towards the bottom of your pelvis. Having mat troubles right now. And then we're going to gently roll. And so you might move front to back, you might move side to side. The idea is that you are trying to soften those connectors into the pelvis. And you might want to relocate the tennis balls occasionally, but you're, exploring and seeing how things feel. And even though our main focus is the back body today, I want you, like the legs are connected to the body, which is connected to the back, right? So noticing how it feels. And then you can keep doing this as long as you want. We're gonna take the tennis balls to the sides, right? So out to the sides. Again, you're not lifting your butt and putting them under your sits bone, and then move your knees side to side. Or some of you might even want to take your body over to the side and let that tennis ball go right into your glute. Am I seeing tears over there? And the idea is to gently soften in, right? So it's not like, sticking an elbow into, it might feel like that, into your glute. And then making sure that you give both sides, if you're doing one side at a time, make sure that you give both sides attention. And if you have never done this or haven't done this in a while, sometimes the first time we get back into it, it's a little more tender. Sometimes even if we do it every day, it's tender. Now, again, you might choose to stay in any of those locations a little bit longer, but then when you're ready, you're gonna take them out, lean your body forward, and again, now we're putting the tennis balls to the back of the pelvis and leaning back into them. And again, not sitting on them, and gently moving your knees side to side, and you're breathing. I don't know on the video if you can hear all the little ohs. Okay. So know that you can come back to those things anytime. Yeah, yeah. You want to do that? Oh, as you're doing it. As she's doing her hips, she's feeling it in her shoulders. So the next thing I want to do, and you might want a blanket under your knees, we're going to come onto our hands and knees. And for those of you who can't be on your knees, you could do this laying on your back and bringing your knees towards your body. So you're going to start with your wrists slightly in front of your shoulders, and then your knees are slightly behind your hips, and everything is hip and shoulder distance apart. And you're going to connect with your breath again, like we did when we were sitting down. Engage your core. So you're not sucking in your belly, but you're aware of how you're using your core. And we're going to inhale up in this flat back and exhale down towards child's pose. And you might slowly make your way into your child's pose, right? Inhale up and exhale down. And you might find, again, just like when we were sliding forward, towards our legs, as time goes on, you might deepen up or you might not, right? You're just it's an exploration. Now, eventually we're going to come to a place where we stop and then walk the hands over to one side. And again, inhale up here with a flat back and exhale down at an angle. So now we're stretching the side bodies and the back and inhaling up, exhaling. And with these poses that we're doing, you might choose to stay like down towards the ground. I prefer, especially when I'm warming up, moving, inhaling up, exhaling down. But it's always what serves your body, right? So never making yourself conform to like what I'm doing or what you think you're supposed to be doing. It's how your body feels. We're gonna do one more. And when you come up this time, you'll pause for a moment, walk yourself through the center, and then come over to your second side. No rush, right? Just inhaling up, exhaling down whenever you're ready. Deepening to a place that speaks to your body in a nice way. And when you come back up this last time, we're going to make our way through the center. We're going to do a little bit of balancing here. So you're going to check in with how you use your body weight. You're going to take your weight into your hands and your right knee, and we're going to lift up the left knee and just extend it, and then pull it in towards your elbow, just moving through that one leg. Working with your breath, inhale, extend, exhale, squeeze it in. If you want to lift your head a little bit when you extend the leg and then reach your head towards your knee, you can do that as well. And if this is uncomfortable for your wrist, you could be on your elbows here. You won't have as much space to move, but it's a modification you can do with your wrists hurt. All right, so the next time your leg is extended, when you bring it in, we're gonna take it down to the ground. And then notice how you shift your weight, and we're gonna do the second side. So again, inhaling as you extend the leg, exhaling as the knee comes in, including the head or not. I find that when I bring my head towards my knee, nice little stretch in my shoulders. All right, so again, the next time that knee comes in, you're gonna come up off of your hands into a kneeling position. And then just for a moment, you're gonna take one hand and you're gonna point your fingers down and pull the hand gently towards your body. You're still breathing. Let's do the second hand. All right, and then kind of shake out your arms. Now here, you're gonna have to use your core a little bit more. We're gonna do some of those same movements, but we're doing them from up here. And some of you might like a little block on your mat for your head to come to, and you'll see what I'm gonna do in a second. You're gonna inhale the arms up, and exhale, take your hands on your back and your forehead towards the ground. And that's where the block might come in if you don't want your head hanging in the air. Inhale up, exhale. And it's a beautiful time to connect with your breath, sensations in your body, slowly awakening. Do it one more time. And when you're complete, we're going to step that right foot forward and slide your left knee back a little bit so it's behind your hip. So you feel that opening in the front of the hip flexor a little bit. That front knee is over your ankle. You could have your hands on blocks, or they could be on the floor. And you're gonna pause for a moment. And then when and if you're ready, we're going to extend that front leg. So you're just gonna straighten the front leg, come up onto your heel, and bring those toes towards your body. So depending on your hamstrings, the back of the leg, it could be a little bit of a stretch. Now, we're going to stay here for a moment. So, and it's okay to have a little bend in your knee if that works better for your body. You're going to inhale, body up, exhale, take your body towards your leg. Inhale, body up, exhale, body and head towards the leg. And again, you're exploring, how does this feel? Where do I feel this? Not forcing anything. And that can be intense. Now, next time you come up, we're gonna walk the hands forward and bend that front knee. We're gonna add a little twist here. And remember, we're still warming up, so I don't want anyone to force it. So you're gonna have that knee bent over the ankle in the front. Your hand is on the floor or block, and we're gonna take the left hand onto, or whatever hand is the same side, onto that knee and gently bring your belly towards that inner thigh. So, yeah, everybody's looking good. And your head is wherever it's comfortable, possibly following the direction of your torso and your breathing. On one of these exhales, we're going to turn back towards the ground. We're gonna step that front foot back. Bring the other leg forward. And again, we're gonna pause here for a moment. And so your knee is over the ankle, your back knee is behind the hip so that you can, connect with the front of your hip flexor and the quad, the front of the thigh. You're just breathing. And if your knee hurts, that would be a place to either put a little fold in your mat or put a blanket underneath. And then in your time, when you're ready, if you're ready, you're gonna straighten that front leg, take your hands back, reach the toes towards your body. Again, some of you will keep a little bend in your knee. You're gonna connect with your hamstring, the back of the thigh. You might feel your calf or your Achilles. And then when you're ready, we're gonna inhale, body up, exhale, body towards the leg. Moving with your breath, feels so good. You might notice a big difference side to side or not. All right, one more time. And when you bring your body up, we're going to bend that front knee again, walk your hands forward. And this is where we're going to do our twist. So your back leg hand stays on the ground, the other hand comes onto your thigh, and you're going to gently bring your belly towards that inner thigh. Your head follows your body. This is a twist or a beautiful time to check in with your back body, right? Like, how does that back body feel as you're twisting? Making sure we're still breathing fully. And on an exhale, we're going to turn towards the ground, turn your back toes under and lift that knee up off the ground, and we'll step that back foot forward. Bringing your hands onto your thighs, we're going to inhale halfway up and exhale a little bit more deeply into your knees. And again, as you're doing this, you might bend your knees. Just moving with that breath. Now on one of these inhales coming up, let's come all the way up. And then once you're up in a standing position, you're going to roll through those shoulders. So inhaling, shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, letting your shoulder blades slide down your back. I could just do this for a while. All right. Now, standing with your feet about hip width apart, we're going to, and your eyes are going to follow your hands, so we'll take that right hand out in front just a little bit. You're going to inhale, arm comes up, exhale, arm comes down, your eyes follow. That hand will alternate sides. There's no rush. Sometimes it's these simplest movements that create the greatest change in our body. Sometimes it's nice to do pretzel poses. Sometimes it's nice to keep it simple. So the next time you finish your second side, you're going to pause for a moment, and then we're going to take your right arm and reach it out in front and then up towards the sky, and bend your elbow, take your hand towards your back body. And then some of you, all of you, may want to grab a strap and hold it into your right hand, and then you're gonna start to walk your left hand up. And you might be able to connect your hands together. You're just gonna stay here for a moment. And And then we're gonna bring the feet a little bit wider than the hips, maybe like as wide as your mat. And inhale, and you're gonna try to keep everything in line, so not dropping your head forwards or backwards. We're gonna inhale as you reach over to the side and exhale back to neutral. Inhale, reaching to the side, exhale back to neutral. And the idea here is to, get some space in between the ribs, stretching those intercostal muscles, opening up your shoulder. We're still connecting with the breath. One more time. And when you come back up this time, we're going to release that arm and shake it out or roll through the shoulder, whatever feels good to you. And then moving the strap into the second hand, reaching that arm up, bending the hand, kind of walking it down your body, the back body, and then bringing your second hand onto the strap. And we'll stay here for a breath or two, just letting your body get used to this idea of what's happening right now. And in your own time, when you're ready, keeping your body in alignment, we'll inhale over to the second side, exhale back to neutral. Just continuing to move with your breath. Forcing. Two more. When you come up again, we're going to release that arm. You may want to roll through your shoulders or shake out your arms. All right, so you may want to pivot on your mat. We're going to take a wide angle with your feet parallel. Right, and so think about the leg's distance, right? So it's definitely wider than your hips. And we'll start with the hands on the thighs and inhale up, exhale, slide down. Hands staying connected to the legs. And then maybe sliding that outside elbow up as you come over to the side. If it feels good in your body, taking your vision towards your eyes, can be open or closed, but you're taking your vision up towards that lifted shoulder. And then you may even want to take that arm up overhead as you're coming over. But of course, only adding that arm in if it enhances what you're doing. I love the pace that you're all moving at. Nobody's rushing, feeling your bodies. It's wonderful. So next time we finish the second side, we're going to pause for a moment. And this time we're going to bend the knees. And so I want you to notice, just bend one knee. You want it to come over the foot. Inhale up, exhale, bend the knee. And you're just kind of noticing that you're safe on the floor, your feet aren't sliding. Notice what's happening in your hips and your back body. And then we're going to start to add in the arms. So as you come down, you're going to take that forearm onto your thigh, palm up, and slide down. Nice. Now, the addition here, if you want, is as you slide down with one arm, you're going to take that other arm in line with your ear. Inhale up, exhale, second side. You're saying, does this feel better in my body? Should I keep that arm down or extend it? One more time on each side. And then we're going to pause for a moment. We're going to do one more here with the wide angle. And so inhale is going to be body up. We start in the 5-pointed star. Exhale, you're going to take one hand onto the opposite leg, slide down. Your vision may come up towards that lifted hand. Inhale up, extend the arms. Exhale, second side. And if it doesn't feel good to look up towards that arm, don't. And it doesn't, you're exploring how far down you slide on that leg. Some of us, it might be the hip, it might be the knee, it might be the foot. Moving with your breath. So next time you finish your second side, you're going to pause and walk those feet in. And this would be a great time to find a tennis ball, just for a moment, because rolling our feet is such a wonderful thing. And again, if you don't have a tennis ball at home, you can stretch your foot front to back, roll through your ankle. Of course, my preferred way is to use the tennis ball. And try to touch, the heel, all of your arches, toes, the padded part under the toes. You're still breathing. And then we're going to do the second foot. So do you feel warmed up enough to do some balances? Okay, good. All right, so again, giving the second foot just as much attention. All those parts we talked about. So the next part, if you have 2 tennis balls, if you don't have 2 tennis balls, you can use a rolled up towel or a blanket or an extra mat. You're going to take your tennis balls hip width apart, place the padded part under the toes onto the tennis balls. So your feet are pointing up at an angle. And I know it's kind of awkward because we don't walk like this, right? And you're just going to inhale up, exhale, bend your knees. Nice little stretch in the bottom of the legs. No comments. Just bulging eyeballs. Okay. Now, very carefully, and of course, if this doesn't work for your body, you can get rid of the tennis balls. You're going to take your hands onto your thighs, inhale, body up, exhale, slide down. And if you want to come halfway, that would be okay too. So how can you be grounded with the front part of your feet lifted, right? So you have to energetically reach down through the front and back of the foot. Do this one more time. And when you come up, we're going to roll the tennis balls to the heels. Again, keeping your feet about hip width apart. And again, ground down through the front and the back of the foot. You have a little bit of yellow protruding out behind your tennis balls. Yeah, so you make sure that they're not right under your arches. And again, we're going to inhale up, exhale into that little chair position. Let your ankles, knees, and hips all bend. Moving with your breath. This will be our last time. And again, with your hands on your thighs, inhale, body up, exhale, slide down the legs. Grounding down through your feet. So watch if you're pushing your weight to the front of the feet or the back of the feet. Inhale up, exhale down. How are those back bodies? How are your shoulders, your head, your neck? One more time. And when you come up, going to put those balls in a safe place. And you're gonna take those arms out like cacti. And so options here, you can do elbows, forearms, palms, bring them together, and that can be your position. Or you can take the right arm to center, left elbow over top, backs of the hands and or palms together. And you're just noticing, you're taking your elbows up off of your chest, you're noticing how it feels in the upper back body. On an exhale, you might sit back into your chair. And then, if it feels safe, you're going to take that right foot, cross it over top. Now you might have your foot on the ground, lifted or wrapped around your calf. Don't forget about your elbows. Keep breathing. How can you find comfort and stability in this somewhat interesting position? When you're ready to release on an inhale, we're going to extend those limbs. Exhale down. So think about like you're bottling up all the energy while you're holding the position and then spreading it out. And then maybe roll through your shoulders, shake out your arms. We're going to do the second side. How'd that feel? Pretty good. I felt my temperature go. Okay, elbows out. And again, option one, or you can bring your left elbow to center, right elbow over top, back to the hands. Put palms together, lift the elbows up off your chest. Take your breath into that upper back body. If you want to do the next step, bend ankles, knees, hips. Check in with your balance. Possibly take that left leg over top. Toes on the ground, lifted or wrapped around your calf. Keep breathing. Lift up those elbows if they've dropped. Breathe and focus, find your drishti, focal point. And when you're ready to come out, on an inhale, extending all the limbs, then moving anything that wants to move. Everybody's good? Take a nice deep breath. Okay, so we're gonna change it up a little bit. We're gonna do the arms, right elbow to center, left elbow to top, backs of the hands or palms, or elbows, forearms and palms. Then this time, and you might need to step up on your mat, your feet are hip width apart, we're gonna step back with the left foot. Now I want you to isometrically pull those legs towards one another, and your feet are still hip width apart. Now keeping your elbows where they are, and your legs are straight, you're pulling them towards one another to help your pelvis. Inhale up, exhale, bend at the hips and come forward just a little bit. Inhale up, exhale, come forward. Don't go too far. And next time you come up, we're going to release the hands, roll through your shoulders once or twice. Take your hands onto your thigh. Inhale, body up, and exhale. Beautiful. We're going to do it one more time. When you come up, we'll step the feet together. Check in with your breath. Sometimes we do new or different things. We start to hold our breath, but you're going to keep breathing. You're going to make like cacti last time. Left elbow, right elbow over top, backs of the hands or palms. Lift the elbows up. Again, starting off with the feet hip width apart this time. Sliding that right foot back. Legs are straight. Isometrically pulling towards one another. And then when you're ready, inhale up. Exhale, slightly come forward. So here we're actually using that core a little bit more. So we talked about the back a lot today, so I want you to be sure that you're using your whole core and not hurting your back body. Next time you come up, we're going to release the hands, take them onto the thigh, inhale up, exhale, come forward. more time. When you come up, we'll step the feet together. And then, just to help us come back to the center a little bit, bring your hands onto your thighs. Definitely keep your knees soft or bent. Inhale up, exhale, slide down. And maybe it'll be everybody's happy place, because when we come up next time, we're gonna make our way to the ground. And what I want you to have ready before you come down to the ground is a blanket roll or a bolster. Okay. So when you're ready, you'll place that bolster or rolled blanket vertically on your mat. When you're ready, we're going to make our way safely down to the ground. So some options here, right? Some of you might like to have your bolster elevated, and if you do, I wouldn't go higher than the second level of your block. And you want it like 2/3 the way up so you're fully supported. Some of you might like to keep it flat. I'm actually going to do mine elevated. And then when you come into your blanket or your bolster, you're going to make sure, and this is to support the low back, you're going to hold on to the bolster and push your body into the bolster so that you're completely supported. And then we're going to make our way down onto that bolster, and you're going to decide, do I want my legs to be straight or knees bent? I like the knees bent right now. You're going to see what feels good in your body. Then I want you to check out your head. You want to make sure that your chin is not lifted up towards the sky, not that you're bringing it towards your chest, but you're going to have your head in alignment with your body. We're just going to breathe for a minute. So notice how the body feels. And of course, if your body is like, oh yes, this is how I want to stay, you're going to stay there. If you want to add in a movement, we're going to inhale one arm up towards your ear, turn your head away from that arm. That's the inhale, exhale, arm comes back down, head to center. And alternating sides. Now, next time you finish your second side, we're going to pause again. You're checking in with your body. How am I feeling today? Now, we're going to take those knees and we're going to bend them. Your feet are going to be flat on the floor. You're using your arms on the sides of the body for balance. And your knees are, maybe an inch or two apart, so there's some space between your knees. We're going to inhale to the center and exhale. Take your knees over about 2 or 3 inches and then come back to the center. So we're not going for a deep twist here, just a little tiny twist. Inhale, center, exhale, knees to the side. And you're noticing just that little movement with the knees, like what's happening in your back body. Now, if it sounds inviting, and only if it sounds inviting, you're going to take those knees a little bit deeper. Inhale, center, you're still alternating sides. Making sure that your whole back body is okay with this movement. And again, if, and only if it sounds good and feels good, you're going to deepen that twist a little bit. Now, next time you finish the second side, again, we're going to pause in the middle, and you're going to decide here, do you want to take your knees and open them out to the side? You're going to explore. So putting the bottoms of the feet together and opening the knees out, you're going to see how that feels in your body. We're not going to stay there, but you're going to explore and see how that feels. I'm switching to roll blanket. So now the movement is going to be the knees together, feet flat on the floor, arms at your side. Inhale, both arms come up in line with your ears, the knees open out, bottom of the feet together. Exhale, knees come together, arms come down. Again, as you're moving, you're noticing, does this feel really good in my body? Do I want to continue to do this? One more time. And for a breath or two, as you're open on your inhale, you might want to stay there for a breath or two, or you might be comfortable in just ending that position. And then I want you to, this is where I want you to check in with your body, right? Does my body need anything else? And if it does, you're going to do that. And then you're going to set yourself up for Shavasana. So some of you might want to take a little forward bend after being on the bolster or the blanket. You might want to, put socks and shirts on, or grab a comfy blanket if you're at home. And you really ask yourself, what body, beautiful body, what do you need right now? And then, as you're ready, you'll do whatever your body needs and then make your way into Shavasana. So some comfortable position on the ground. Where you feel completely supported. And then as you set yourself up, it's a great time to ask yourself, is there anything that you could do to make yourself even just a little bit more comfortable here? If so, you're going to do that. And when you're ready, settling in, connecting one more time with your breath, letting go of the body and holding the body and the breath and thinking and just allowing yourself to be. So starting to bring your awareness to your breath and your body, and maybe remembering how your body felt when we started practice and how you wanted to feel when we were done with practice, and noticing how you're feeling. And then making some slow, thoughtful movements in your time. Maybe bending the knees and rolling over to the side, or stretching your arms overhead. What sounds good in this moment, and possibly bringing yourself up to a seated position. We moved our head a little bit in the practice, and I just want to do a little bit more of that before we go. So when you are seated, let's just take the chin towards the chest. So not rounding the upper body, just bringing your chin towards the chest. And then we're going to take the left ear towards the left shoulder. Your chin is still pointing down, and you're noticing how that right shoulder feels as the head is leaning over to the left. Then bringing your head back to the center and right ear towards the right shoulder. And again, how does that side, the left side of the neck and the shoulder feel as you're reaching your head over to the other side? In your own time, as you're ready, head comes back to the center, and just doing each side one more time. You might even, as the head is over to the left, roll through the right shoulder. And then when your head is to the right, rolling through the left shoulder. And then bringing the chin back to center and carefully lifting up your head and rolling both shoulders. So what I'm going to invite you to do now, just a couple of focused breaths, breathing in through your nose, imagining that breath moving all the way down your body as you breathe in, and then breathe out, starting from the pelvic floor, pressing that breath out of your body. Now let's close with our 3 planetary healing sounds. Inhale, lifting your arms towards the sky. Exhaling, the sound Q to the heart. Inhaling, arms out to the side. Exhaling, ah to the heart. And inhaling, gathering all the energy around you and from the earth. Exhaling, home to the heart. So I hope that everybody feels how they wanted to feel. I'm really grateful that you're to thank all of my teachers,